Welcome back to PresCo. I'm the Business Pres, and this is the Daily Trend. Let's go look at some price action in the market. Shrink me, bring up some charts. All right, we got Bitcoin. We got Bitcoin, the leader of the market. That's what we're always going to start with. Okay, and for over the past year, we've been in this bigger kind of range. We seem to be stuck in that range. And we've been uptrending, downtrending, uptrending, downtrending, and now recently, we've just been going sideways. It's a little bit frustrating because there's no real clear direction. Just as we're like about to break out of resistance, we fall back down to support and wondering whether support's going to hold or fail, and then we get pushed back up to resistance, and it's been very sideways, but it's been some good swings. Okay, we got 20% to the upside, we got 15% to the downside. It's been pretty good. So we've had this series, this head and shoulders here, if you will. Shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline, and as soon as that's been broken, we've been making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and now here at this point, seems like here we've made our higher swing higher than here. So it's interesting. And then we come down low here, we've made a higher low than this. So it's very interesting. So we made this little pullback, and then we fell to the floor. Oops. And then we did make a top pattern here, a double top, and there's the neckline. So we're kind of getting into this range and then getting rejected. However, it is a higher high. Now whether you call this the swing high or whether this tiny pullback was the swing high, probably not really. But when we come back down lower, apart from this wick, kind of held on to this support, made a higher low. And then when we've reached here, even if you include these wicks, we made a slightly higher high, and now we're coming down and we're making a slightly higher low. So it's going to be interesting to see which way the market wants to go from here. But the bigger pattern here is a bear flag. If we're going to get this bear flag, resistance breaks, we could be coming all the way back down to this region here. Okay, we've got some top patterns here, we've got some bottom patterns here. Here's roughly the middle of that range. Obviously we can come lower and we can also come higher. Now, is this the case? Potentially, very potentially, because the macroeconomics right now are very, very different since the whole inception of Bitcoin. Now we look at this pullback here, the lower low to the lower high, and we fit this range perfectly. Okay, and then we broke out above it and we continued on, we pushed up higher. Now if we do that again, kind of don't really fit any of that, apart from the fact that we come to the 1.618 extension, we seem to be forming our bottom there. So if we can actually break out of this high, it would reverse the trend and we would be in an uptrend, and this would not take place. However, we can't rule it out. So we could break down to these lows, the 2.618, or we come down to the 3.618. And with everything changing, the war going on, interest rates raising, free money is gone. People are risking off, which means they're not playing the stocks anymore. If you have a look at the stock market, it's crazy. And crypto's even riskier than stocks. So it's going to be interesting to see what pans out. Whether we keep being stuck in this range or whether we drop to the next trading range, or whether we raise to the next trading range. We're at the top of this low and that head and shoulders neckline. That's where I'd say we could end up. So if we have a rally here, breakout, retest, and we're stuck in this range, or we could be stuck in this range, or we could break out, retest, and find our way lower. That's bearish, that's bullish, and that's sideways. Now, let's have a look at what is the higher probability on our indicators. Okay, so we've got Bitcoin on the daily trend indicator. We've been following this for a bit. If we look here since the top, we've been in a downtrend on the RSI and a downtrend in the MACD. Okay, it's been pretty evident ever since the bearish divergence, also on the MACD, and we plummeted through the zero, retested, and come back down. And we've just been stuck there pretty much up until this point, until this double top. And that signals to me that we are actually changing the trend, because we have a rising support line and we've broken out twice above the zero on the MACD. So as long as we're above this, you can see that we're actually very bullish, and while we're below it, quite bearish. Okay, even though we're ranging sideways here, we're in a downtrend. So when we're ranging above it, we're in an uptrend. Okay, so that's why I use these indicators. And right now, we've had a cross here at the double top, at resistance. We've been stuck in this box for a while. We're going off the lower closes and the lower wicks here. So this is our support range. This is our resistance range. And right now, we're under the 50 moving average. We're under the 50 on the RSI, and we're under the 0 on the MACD. All that it could take is for this MACD to start opening up, and we're in a bearish trend again. This MACD continues down, we're in a bearish trend. However, if this MACD wants to break out and start going up, we'll be in a bullish trend. But that will mean that we have to break out of these resistances, the 50 moving average, and then, if we can, get above this one and not make a double top, but consolidate and break out of the consolidation. That's what we need to be in a bull market again. And strength right now kind of lies with the bears. Bears are winning, shorts are winning. If we zoom in a little bit, 4-hour chart, you can kind of see that that's just starting to happen. This big red candle is telling me the bears might be gaining even more strength here. So if this signal line just wants to cross down, we could be on our way to find some supports. Whoops. Now if that's the case, we'd come down a little bit, find support here, 2%, nothing to worry about. And we've kind of got that raising trend line here. Okay, this triangle. We don't want to break this triangle. So that'll signal that this bear flag is going to break down. So we come down a little bit for the intraday. We come down a bit more to this supply zone, this demand zone, I should say. We're at 10%. Or, if that breaks as well, and we get continuation from this bearish pattern, then we come down to here, which is 25% correction. And that is not even threatening the 70% correction that could see us come back to the previous range here. This could happen. This could happen. So we need to be prepared for that. 5 to 10, 20 to 15, and we've got 50. It's good if you're out looking to buy lower, buy cheaper, It's good if you're shorting the market, but if we're holding right now, waiting, it's not looking too friendly in terms of the bears. So right now the MACD is coming up to resistance. There's no reason why it wouldn't start falling down. Okay, so if we break these lows here, we've broken the trend line, we've broken daily candle closes for the past couple of weeks, past 3 weeks. If we break this zone, could be coming down a fair bit further. But what does that mean for altcoins? Okay, we've got the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance has been rising, which means everything else has been bleeding out. Let's go have a look at Ethereum first to see if it's doing the same thing as Bitcoin. Okay, so this is Ethereum. We've been in this range for a while too. It's printed a higher high, it's printed a higher low. As long as this is kind of consolidation in between, that was one top, this is two tops. That was one bottom, there's two bottoms. Okay, so we could kind of draw this rising trend line, which means Ethereum could have another dip, 10% dip. But it's also making this W pattern and bull flagging. It's a tight little consolidation, probably to the 618. Yep, we're in the 618 zone right there. So if Ethereum wants to hold now, and wants to break out of this and continue upwards, especially past this previous high, then Ethereum would be in a confirmed uptrend. If we break these lows, if we break this one, but more importantly this one, if we break these lows, then Ethereum has just pulled into bear flag mode, and it also is likely to come down into these previous ranges. How likely is that? Oh, anything can happen. Even though in the macro, we're still expecting wave 2 from altcoins and wave 3 from Bitcoin, it just doesn't seem like it wants to gear up for that. These corrections usually shake people out, and I'm feeling very shook. There's just no clear direction of where it wants to go. It's kind of stuck sideways. So this previous swing high, we had a lower high there, but then a higher low there, and then we kind of made a higher high than this high. Now if we can make a higher low again, then that's awesome. That's what we want. So there's our swing high, there's our swing low. Kind of in the middle of that range now. All we need is to get above this, hold it for support, and move on. Now if we get this, that's the bearish scenario. And if we just stay sideways, it's the sideways scenario, and if we break out of resistance, that's the bullish scenario. Now let's have a look at the daily trend to show just what we might have. Okay, so on the macro, this resistance, flip support, is our base, it's our floor. We've got a trend line here, a fib line here, goes from swing low to swing high, and this is our pullback. It's been quite deep. Hello, darling. Okay, I'll be there soon. It's at the 786, and now was trying to bottom on the 618. So that's very good. That's very good. We've seen this head and shoulders neckline get broken down, retest, and now we seem to have flipped it again. So that is also very good. If we can stay above this, gives me another inclination that we could be going higher. Now I've got here this mini bear flag mapped out, this pullback consolidation, and we haven't broken it convincingly, otherwise we would have seen a faster move than that. So we've kind of just gone sideways. We're hovering around that 50. Whether we want to get back above it, well, thank you, or below it. Below it will obviously send us down here. Above that 50 will push us back to the range. And if we can break out of this orange zone, then that's what we want as bulls, as investors, as hodlers. Oh, wow! So cool! Now I expect this floor to hold. However, it doesn't have to. It did back here, and that's where we've seen all kinds of divergences, especially on the RSI, and the MACD's momentum isn't nearly as crazy as it was back here. Look at this big bearish divergence, this big bearish run. Okay, from this top, retested, and just smashed it bearish. Smashed it bearish. So great shorts. If you're in here, when this kind of neckline broke down, we pulled back to moving average, that's a 40% short. Laughing. However, are we there now? Are we there right now? Are we topping out, looking to put in shorts? It's interesting. It's interesting because we hit our rejection here and then we pulled back, made our lows. So essentially we made our support level and then we've broken above it here and we've crossed back down and now we're kind of holding it flat. So one more spike could get bought up and push us past the resistance, or we could round off on the MACD, and if the blue line spikes through this red line and we come to get above it, it's going to start a bullish trend. Again, doesn't have to happen. Right now we're technically at resistance, under the 50s, slowly pushing down, and this can speed up real fast. So right now it's still kind of stuck in a range. We're going to zoom in a little bit. On the 4 hour here, see we're not above this. And if price wants to start pushing us lower, we will get rejected by this range and push down. Now whether we just stay choppy like this, in the 5% range, we're coming from kind of the middle of it. So we could start a bearish trend of 10, 15, even 20%. Just have to see how it wants to react over the next day or so. There's no clear indication of where it wants to go. Quick look at XRP. See, it hasn't been making higher highs. It's just been getting smashed. But we're coming up to this previous low here and this long term support and resistance level. It's multi-year. So XRP doesn't have a lot of room to the downside. And here was court case. It was still going through. But in my eyes, XRP is a lot more fundamental catalyst to send us to the upside rather than the downside. However, we've got 6, 10, 40% downturn just like Bitcoin. But if we break above, we've still got 20%, 30% to the upside, and that's just within this range, within this trend, within this pattern. Once we break out of that, even just to the top, there's a double, there's nearly a triple, and that's not even to the all-time highs. Okay, XRP has by far the most going for it. Now, taking all that into consideration, we've been analyzing against dollar pairs. Let's look at the market in general. It's Bitcoin dominance chart. been mapping out for a while, we've been looking at it for a while, we're stuck in this range too. However, we've seen when it wants to trend, big things can happen. This is the altcoin chart. Okay, so this is what the altcoins are doing without Bitcoin. This is what Bitcoin is doing against altcoins. I want to show you something very powerful. Been in this consolidation range in the RSI, we broke the 50, we retested it, and then we come down. That's just on the RSI. Let me show you on the MACD. On the MACD, we've been slowly coming down, but trending up. Why? Because we're above the zero. But then we got our breakdown, our pullback, and then that started the trend down. Here is where we come to retest it, and then it confirmed the breakdown. So from here all the way down here, it's 3 weeks of bearishness for the Bitcoin dominance. But if we have a look at the altcoin chart from the 10th of March, we're bottoming. Okay, and then we peak up, we get past the zero in the trend, and altcoins have made a huge rally, breaking out of this long-term consolidation, even this pennant at the end, made a higher high, and then now we're consolidating down in kind of a bear flag. Now what's interesting is Bitcoin looks like it could be topping out here. Okay, it's slowing down, it's getting slightly oversold on the daily. Thanks, darling. Awesome. Now that to me looks like a top pattern. We've got this rejection wick, we've got this high that could not get higher. Right now we're on a neckline, and if we're going to fall below it, it means Bitcoin is losing dominance to the rest of the market. Now what's the MACD done? The MACD's already crossed down. But on the 4 hour, we want to wait till it goes past the zero. Because on the daily, that doesn't mean anything. Okay, it's just a maybe at the moment. It's just a maybe. So, between the 10th of March and the 10th of April, the altcoins had a rally. And then after the 10th of April, they've been in decline, while Bitcoin has been gaining dominance. And on the Bitcoin chart itself, Bitcoin's been slowing down since the 5th of April. So with these charts, doesn't matter what Bitcoin's doing, it can be going down. But if we're looking at the altcoins, we're playing altcoins like I am. And we can see the altcoins are in for a rally, and they might be again soon, because we're about to cross. And it's only really important if we cross and it continues above zero territory, then we're in for another rally similar to this. And what were we doing from the 15th of March? We're in a rally. We're in this rally here, this 25% rally. So yeah, in the macro, we could be eating bear breakfast, but we have these rallies all the time. Here's a 10%, 15%. Here's a 20%. Here's a 25%. So right now, what I would advise doing is playing defense, not having all your chips on the table, but having your chips safe and risky. What I mean by safe, playing defense, is that you're mostly in the dollar. And you're looking to make more dollars. Because this has been on a tear. And when this dollar index starts topping out, which it shows no signs of doing so far, when the dollar index starts topping out, that's the tether, USD tether, okay, this could start to top out. Hey, Meadow. This could start to top out now. And if it does, that's going to give us a bit of relief rally in the crypto market. In particular, altcoins. Okay, so Ethereum against Bitcoin, if we're going to hold this support here, then we could expect another rally like this. Alright, and we've had a look at bear flags. This is Ethereum against Bitcoin, a bull flag. Alright, this could take us back to the top of that range. Okay, so then the best one to play might not be Bitcoin, it might not be Ethereum. It might be some altcoins. Okay, because we're coming down a range support. So this tag in red's not good. But the point I'm trying to make is even in a bear market, there will be swings. There will be pumps followed by dumps. And if you're playing both sides of the coin, shorting as well as longing, that's great. There's plenty of opportunity. But if we're just investing, if we're just holding, not the best time. Not the best time. However, we've still got that wave 2, that macro wave 2. XRP is still at all very extreme highs. Meadow, stop that. And crypto can happen really fast. Okay? But what I'm looking at is RSI to be above this 50 and the MACD to be above this 50, this 0. And that to me is we're in a bullish uptrend. Bullish? Oops. Bullish? That doesn't do it. Bullish, bullish, or bearish if we're below it. Okay? Even when we're pulling back, that's just a bearish pullback because we're below it, we pull back and then we continue. Right? We want to be on this side in terms of investors. We want to be above it, pull back, and continue. As soon as we break it, that's when we want to be out. That's where our stop losses should be. Okay? This is what I've been studying. I'm very confident with my strategy here. It's back here when we break down retest. This is a perfect time to take a short. It's a perfect time to be out the market looking for a bottom to buy, to put your chips back in. It's playing defense. Okay? Back here was the right time to be offense, to be all in the market. Everything was pumping way more than XRP. And we still had a great time. But right now, everything looks like to be topping out. So even if we just follow that simple strategy of when we're above the 50s, bullish. When we're below the 50s, bearish. Okay? So in terms of investing, playing spot, we want to be in above this line and out below this line. Okay, so now, technically now on XRP, or on Ethereum, sorry, we want to be out. We want to be out, we want to be waiting for us literally just to cross back above here. Cross back above here, we can find our way here. Okay? Now that's good, but that's only short term. We want to play long term like this. So even if we back it off a little bit and go to the 3-day. So the 3-day shows us we're so close. We're so close. We could come down one more, test this bottom one more time, in which from them it's going to bring the moving average down. Okay? But we're going to be making higher lows in the RSI. And then from here, from this level, yeah, we could seriously make a nice juicy move to break out resistances, to get above this range and to continue on. Well, guys, we've blabbed on long enough. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry I've been out so long. I'll probably make a video on that. It's been some tough times. But that's part of it. It's part of the market. Nothing goes straight up or straight down, or even mostly sideways. Just feels like it's going down a lot. But when it's going down, bears can make money. When it's going up, bulls can make money. But pigs will get slaughtered. So I've had to adjust a fair bit, trying not to be so much of a pig, but to stay on the edge of the coin and play it both ways, because that's where the real opportunity is. So thank you very much for listening. I'm the Business Prez. This is the Daily Trend. Thanks for watching Prezco Productions. See you, bye.